Wiener!
Yes.
Balls.
His balls fuck.
Yes.
Aaron, do you have any butts you'd like to share with the class? Wow. Okay. Good.
Well, I mean, think about what you asked her.
Butts. Okay, everyone's here. Very good. So before we begin, I have found a homebrew thing that has some very slight change of the rules. One of which includes that change to aid and advantage that we talked about. So I have not changed all the wording on every move you guys have, and I posted that thing more as a reference if you would like to, but I will remember. So basically, the simple answer is anytime a move references get a +1, you get advantage instead. So, advantage is you roll 3 die and you take the highest, and disadvantage is the opposite. You roll 3 die and you take the lowest. I know how to do those as dice rolls now, so I can explain that if that comes up. It should eventually, but I'm not gonna get into it until we actually do it. Largely, those things in that doc, those changes are pretty superficial. Just some additional moves, and just changing wording and some stuff to add that in. That's basically the only real changes.
And you're talking about the stuff in this Google Doc link. Yeah, okay. I found it.
Yes,
Sounds like a good
largely.
change.
Yes, largely it's unchanged. There's some cool new ones we might get into. Maybe, depends. But you guys don't have to worry about that yet. If you want to peruse that at your leisure, you can, but don't worry about it too much right now. Just know we are now doing advantage, disadvantage, as opposed to just a +1. Now,
Works for me.
might still do +1s if I decide to, but who knows? We'll see how this goes.
Okay.
Okay. So, last time, you all had approached this goblin cave after reconvening with Way and meeting this new goblin Namano.
Napano.
Napano.
Napano. You got it.
And approached this cave. You tried to sneak in. The Tengu discovered you, but you quickly had a fight with them and dispatched them, leaving one alive. The leader, who appeared to have been looking for something in the cave, which they had found and you had taken.
The shiny.
You don't know exactly what it is, beyond the fact that it's a weird stone. You have captured the leader. He is tied up currently. You are still in the cave if you would like to be. But, effectively, what you had decided to do, given the circumstances surrounding going in this cave and fighting these goblins, or Tengu, goblins. Oh, good. Sad for thing.
Public murderers.
Where was I? Right. It was basically decided that Tori was going to go and confront her father, the head of her Tengu village. You all, being heroes and friends of hers, or close enough, decided that you were not going to let her go by herself, and that you were going to go with her. And that's kind of where we left off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, with that in mind, we can sort of begin. Keep in mind your bonds with each other to confront and address if you can, and whatever your alignment sentence is or whatever as we play today. Okay.
Tori's gonna start by rolling the stone around in her hand before she kind of just puts it in her bag. And she says, "We won't really get any answers by sitting around here, and I don't think that the Tengu over there is really going to tell us anything, even if we ask him and try and beat it out of him. So it isn't going to really do anything to help us to stick around here we might as well start climbing the mountain, head toward the village, and get this over with.
Lyle's gonna put up his hand as if asking a question and say, "So, we're gonna leave all this guy," he says, gesturing to the Tengu at the back of the cave, all tied up, laying on the bed after lack of coming up with a clever nickname. And says, we're gonna leave him here. You don't think that could come back to bite us? We're not even gonna try to interrogate him. You know, maybe take him hostage. You know, just spitballing ideas here.
I don't know what good that would do us.
Then why the hell did we leave him alive?
I just didn't want to kill one of my own kin, I guess.
We'll
If I
do
could
it.
avoid it.
Adam just kind of scratches his head and gestures in the general direction of the mounds that the party formed. I don't think they're too inclined to do the same for us.
Unless we want him as a bargaining chip. Better not to leave him alive to tell the tale.
Well, we still have the cart, right?
I believe so, yes. I think you left it a little further away just so because you were trying to sneak closer. But it's nearby. It's not terribly far, we can say.
He did mention something about him being an elder, and perhaps they would take more consideration if we did tote him along, if I recall correctly.
I think I recall saying, though, that he was kind of disgraced because we beat him and he wouldn't be very useful as a bargaining chip. Is that right, Masha? Or...
I don't think we had a conversation like that, no.
Okay,
Give me-
well, never mind then.
Hey, I need to jump up real quick because my dogs are carrying on something fierce about something out there. Give me just like 1 minute.
Sure.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're good.
Is it time to read through this new stuff a little more?
If there's a reason to keep this guy alive, like, say, he can give us information, then let's do it. But otherwise, I'm kind of like in the leave no trace camp.
Well, out of character, then
I'm back. Sorry.
You're good.
I'll come back.
Yeah, that was out of character.
Yeah, I was gonna say out of character. Then I don't know what what kind of plan we should push forward with, because the last time we captured a commander from Moros, then he was pretty much just completely useless, and I mean, we did have to kill him for somewhat unrelated reasons.
You had to kill him for somewhat of this.
Anyway, if this guy is gonna be like that, which, you know, he would probably, interrogation would probably be a waste of time. He didn't seem particularly fond of us or particularly interested in talking, even to Tori, before.
Aaron says, I'm kind of wondering how he recognized Bertie for Wigon.
You know, that's a good point. I wonder if that's a... Yeah, maybe we should try talking to him, so... That storms
a good
back.
point.
Let's try and roll that angle, you know, or maybe the Tengu are keeping tabs on her or something.
Possibly. I mean, we could.
Okay, well,
Let's wake him up and interrogate him.
yeah, back
Gonna
in,
wake this man up,
back in,
guys?
Yeah.
back in character then, yeah. Then,
Or, okay, you gotta lay him, put him up against the wall and slap him.
Yeah. So, we're just gonna put him against the wall and like shake him awake.
Smack! Ah! He's awake.
did his mask fall off?
you probably took it off. He's an older gentleman. He has a lot of scars on his face. I remember describing him.
Yes.
Kind of got darker wings on his back, kind of near lower back.
Lyle has picked up the mask and he's kind of, fondling it, looking it over, standing in the back while Tori's like shaking his ass awake. Lyle's playing with his mask.
Wake up.
You tell him.
I suppose you are still a Tengu, to some degree.
Or he's gonna stand up and like take a step back from him and fold her arms across her. I want to know a couple things. I'm gonna have to have you talk.
You could try.
We can do this the easy way or the hard way. First, I want to know what this stone is about. She's gonna pull up the stone and just kind of show him what it is.
He raises an eyebrow at a questioning whether you're going to have to do this the hard way or the easy way. He's like, really? You're going to ask it that? You know the answers. Then when you ask him about the stone, he kind of looks down at himself and then clicks his tongue with frustration. It's a stone. What could there possibly be about it?
I know that this stone is here, and it's not natural. And it's part of something. Otherwise, you wouldn't be bothering messing around in a goblin cave.
What reason would I have to tell you anything?
We'll kill you if you're not useful.
You don't really have any other options.
He looks at both of you like, and that's supposed to threaten me?
Lyle says, I'm not necessarily going to condone just wanton murder, he says surprisingly. I'm thinking our old friend here, we don't have to kill him. There are other ways we could maybe coax information out of him. Maybe he might prefer he was dead.
Well, yes, that was not a threat. We understand that death is release, not punishment.
You did try to kill all of us a minute ago. So,
Well, of course I did. Is that a surprise?
I have qualms about killing other Tengri, but I can't say the same for my friends.
Then you're weak.
No. I just have compassion for my fellow man.
It doesn't matter if they're Tengri or if they're Genji or Yord or whatever. People are people. And people that are obstacles should be removed. I
So-
don't really care one way or the other. I will just do my bidding. Or do my Lord's bidding.
So the stone means nothing then. Very well. I'll just cast it into the ocean.
He just shrugs. Do it then. We're also miles away from the ocean. That's not much of a threat. Perhaps you want to pick a closer landmark to threaten to throw it into?
I mean, we could feed it to Barry, see what happens.
Barry the ogre. Chomp chomp. He turns his head and he looks at Barry on the staff. And then he looks at Gazelle. And then he looks at Tori. Are you traveling with a schizophrenic?
Why
Be
not?
insane?
Is that surprising?
Or he goes to open her mouth and she kind of looks confused herself. I'm not exactly sure about him.
I think you're great.
Well,
Gives you a thumbs up.
okay, folks. This kind of seems like this is going to be a roll because you need to convince this man to tell you something. So this will be a parlay.
All right.
When you press or entice an NPC, you say to say what you want them to or not do. If they have a reason to resist, roll plus charisma. On a 10 plus, they either do as you want or reveal the easiest way to convince them. On a 7 to 9, they reveal something you can do to convince them. It's likely to be costly, tricky, or distasteful.
Okay, Lyle's gonna walk up to this guy, and he's gonna be holding the Tengu mask still, and he's gonna crouch down next to him to be level with this guy as he's like tied up against the wall. And he says, okay. Listen. I could see that you are a very, let's say, devoted to your cause. And I respect that. Old Lyle here, he's got a lot of respect for people with principles, twisted as they may be. So, what do you say we work something out here? You know, man to man, or in this case, Birdman hostage to a ravenous gang of captors.
Okay, so that's what Lyle says. Tori, would you like to add to that to give one of you advantage? As you attempt to aid, perhaps, or Lyle attempts to aid Tori, as you were the one conversing with him the most, Tori, prior to what Lyle just said.
I'm thinking what to say. Sorry,
Okay.
but
You're good. You're good.
Tori's going to shrug and say, there's definitely something different going on in the village in the Tengu. I think that there must be something wrong with the higher-ups. My father, especially, seems much more brutal sending you out here. It's not right for you to be attacking these lesser creatures by your own description.
And Lyle says, let's not get carried away. They're just
Now-
goblins.
Whatever's going on, you know that it's not. It's different. Something's going on here. I need you to tell us. Because whatever Father's planning could be very disastrous, not for other people, but for the clan itself.
Okay, so which of you wants to roll? Who's
Well,
got? Well, you guys choose between the two of you. I won't make that decision or tell you what to do.
I'll let Lyle roll because he's right in the Tengu's face.
Okay, Lyle,
Okay. Yes.
what is your charisma?
My charisma.
Your charisma modifier specifically. Your +1,
It's a
2,
plu-
etc.
It's a +2.
Okay, so here's what I want you to type: / roll 3d6
Let's roll
Uh-huh.
3d6.
K2
What was that?
K2 K as in kitten,
Okay.
Kit Kat. Then add +2 to the end of that. And then hit enter.
Like this.
No spaces. Did you add spaces?
I did.
Don't add spaces.
Roll.
Either way, just add 2 to that, or take the 2 highest and then.
It would just,
Add 2?
yeah, it would be 12.
3d6, K2, +2.
There you go.
Like that.
That's how it works. That's how you roll, where it just takes the highest.
Oh, I did.
And
5.
you got a 10 regardless, so. At least. So you're good. Minus
What
that
does
five.
I,
the
acci-
K2 mean?
I accidentally did
keep 2.
D5.
3d5.
I did 3d5.
Oh.
I'm like an idiot. Let me try one more time.
Purple.
Roll.
It's fine. He's still got a
You
success.
The first one was
Give
still
him
correct.
Success.
You got a success, but do it once more to prove you can know how to do it. I want to see you prove it.
3d6, K2, +2. Fuck!
There you go. See, you still
Still
got a 10.
Man,
God
You-
damn.
He's just
Yeah.
tricking you into using all your good rolls.
yeah,
Correct.
he's using all the good luck.
Ha 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 ha. All right, you got
Just
a
out of-
10.
Out of curiosity,
Yes.
is there a different command for keeping the lowest?
There is. It's just adding a L after the K. That's all.
Okay, KL. Okay.
So it'd be keep lower or just keep.
Okay, sounds good.
Ah.
That's the shorthand, I guess.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me read what Parlay says. On a 10 plus, they either do as you want or they reveal the easiest way to convince them. I feel like between Lyle and you loaded that. Okay, gotcha.
I
Between the two of you,
didn't mean to roll with it. I meant to get the description, but it's fine.
he doesn't completely believe you, Lyle, because you got that kind of face. You got the face of a charlatan, if I'm being honest. I look at that face, that's a charlatan, obviously. However, your words combined with Tori's words, and Tori reminding him that, hey, this is very forward. You are down here fighting a bunch of goblins for a stone. That's weird for Tengu to do, right? You should be on the mountain.
What Lyle's kind of pressing is just that, hey, man, like, I respect what you're doing, kind of, but, like, why are, like,
Why?
Yeah,
why?
he doesn't
Like,
believe that you are sincere in that, but it makes him think about, why am I doing this? You make him do the thinking in his brain by
he's convincing
basically
himself.
pushing it. Yes, you're making him convince himself that, hey, maybe this is weird. He
all
kind
I
of
said
narrows
was,
his eyes.
let's make a deal. All I said was, let's make a deal. Let's work something out.
Yeah. It is true this is a more forward action than we have done in the past. It is in the best interest of the clan, of course. We have long suffered under being subject to the whims of the people who dwell on the ground.
Lyle is gonna kind of sit and, he kind of came at this as being kind of smug and dickish, but after hearing Tori's words and listening to this guy, letting it sink in a little bit, his grin kind of fades, and
Okay.
he thinks about it for a moment, and he adds to what this guy said. He says, "Look, it wouldn't be the first time in my travels that I've seen a lord become twisted by ambition, or dare I suggest, a darker force behind their actions. There's all kinds of things in this world that are strange and dangerous and, let's say, manipulative. Are you really sure that your lord's actions are really his own?" And I'm not saying that someone's controlling him or manipulating him necessarily, not taking that off the table, but when folks start acting weird, there's usually something more to it. And, if you're as loyal to your bird lords, or whatever. What do you call bird lords? Yeah, story. But without even waiting for an answer, looks back to the guy and says, "Never mind. Point is, if something has, like a bug has gotten up his keister that's making him do all these weird things, or if someone's got his ear, if I were you, I want to get to the bottom of that. And I think that would be what I should be setting right, instead of just blindly following orders, eh?" And then Lyle's just going to put the Tengu mask over his own face and then get up and step back. Make way for Tori.
Ori kind of gives Lyle the side eye as she gets a little closer to the captain. I think what he means to say is, don't you think that this is weird? All of this seems a bit strange to be coming down here when the mountains are our sacred grounds, not these caves.
He chews on something in his mind. It looks like to you, just looking at his eyes. His normally very dead eyes. They still look very dead. Like a guy who just doesn't have a fucking soul. He just kind of stares at you for a moment. What is it you want to know?
I want to know why my father's attacking other Tengri and why he's expanding territory. And not only that, why is he doing it so brutally and hurting others who don't want to go with him?
The way of the Tango has always been a brutal one. You know that. As for why he wants to expand his territory, if his word is to be trusted as it is, and I do trust it, for the most part, he simply wants to reestablish the Tengri under one banner, one nation, so that we are not subject to the laws of the nations below us. So we might govern ourselves, be freed of relying upon them for trade and import.
You think a man that would throw out his own daughter really has such positive and grand expectations and hopes and dreams for people like that?
No, of course not. But he is interested in power, and power has means of changing things.
So, what's the stone about then? What's he want to do with it? He wants to use it to get some leverage over the lower nations, right? What's it do?
As far as I am aware, the stone is a means to find things.
What things?
Anything. It will reveal a location of a thing that you are looking for. You need only know a general idea of what you are looking for, and be able to infuse it with magic.
So, what is he looking for? Why does he need this?
That I do not know. He's had visitors in recent days from far off. I have not met them myself, just seen them in their garb. They have put ideas in his mind. Told him about places with valuable artifacts that might be beneficial to our cause.
Does that not raise any red flags to you? That first off, he's entertaining guests who would promise him gifts of power. All we have done as the Tengu for generations is defend our lands. Now why are we trying to expand them all of a sudden? And cutting down anyone who'd stand in our way or who doesn't follow behind us? There's honor in defending our land. What honor is there in attacking and killing helpless lower races?
Plenty, if you are victorious.
Look around you. You've slain a bunch of goblins and gotten a goblin cave. What's great about that?
We have found a stone that can find anything we desire.
And look where that got you.
A valid point.
You got the stone, but for what? You don't even know what the stone does.
I do. As I said, it allows you to find that which you seek. It gives you a general location. Granted, you need to be familiar with the topography of the vision to correctly identify its location. However, that alone is a less significant hurdle to overcome.
Sounds like the most generic answer I've ever had.
Well, I was like, I'm kind of thinking, I need to see this stone. I'll hold on to it. No?
Boy,
Hey, Majin,
Mhm.
we're by some, like, woods, right?
Yes.
Alright, I'm gonna huck my spear somewhere into the woods.
Okay.
Lyle, go find my spear. Use the stone.
Ooh.
Do you even know how to use magic?
Rory kind of looks at Way and Lyle and why they're doing this in the middle of an interrogation, but just relents and gives Lyle the stone.
Lyle takes the stone and he lifts the Tengu mask off of his face so that it's resting on top of his head. And he's kind of fiddling with the stone, rolling it in his fingers, got both of it, cupping the stone in both hands, holding it up to his face, closing one eye, holding it up to his open eye, trying as if he's trying to look inside the stone. He's like, I don't know. I think this guy might be,
Do you know how to do magic at all? Of any sort?
Well, it's like, I've been around all kinds of magic.
Well, that was out of character, but someone probably said that.
Oh.
Disembodied voice in the walls.
We'll say the UA said that. Like, do you know how to use magic at all?
It's like, I know that I've been around.
You can-
I've seen.
Fine, I'm not judging. I'm just asking you. Do you know how to use magic at all?
Maybe.
So no, then.
I'm not taking it off the table. How do I bamboozle UA?
While they're having their little debate, Tori's going to go back and start talking to the captain again. And bamboozles a move, nice. Tori's going to look at the Tengu again and say, "Listen, this is wrong. There's no reason for Tengu to be dying down here. I didn't want to kill you. I didn't want to kill your people. It doesn't make me feel good, and I don't care if you think that that doesn't make me a good Tengu, because my father already said I'm not one anyway. But whatever is going on with these people and my father, it's going to cost everybody in the village dearly. If you are all being sent to your deaths and you don't even know why. You might know what this stone does, but look what it costs you. Whatever's going on,
Sorry.
Those people are just using the Tengu for their own needs. When you were supposed to bring this stone back, I'm sure they wouldn't have let my father keep it."
Speaking of which, this garb you talked about.
Yes.
We talking black armor, perhaps?
No armor, no. Black, yes.
Lyle's gonna
Adam just kind of
frown
looks over at
upon hearing that.
Tori. Sound familiar?
Black Rose.
He was a foreigner, no doubt. Don't have his name.
Gazelle's just gonna look offended. I don't like the way you said black.
Adam just kind of rolls his eyes.
I don't care.
Suppose he's probably not. They weren't trying to intimidate you. Could be a sign of someone from Muros.
The Tengu looks at Gazelle. Well, I find your severed head offensive.
I mean, I find him offensive too, but you don't see me complaining.
Tori raises her eye that he even said that he finds the severed head offensive.
Lyle,
But she says nothing.
Lyle kind of just, at this point, gives up trying to fiddle with the stone and is kind of confused on what's happening in the conversation. And he hands the stone to Yue, and he's like, "Well, you figure it out then. You're so smart."
Okay.
She can't use magic after all.
Oh, here. Let me see your hand.
Lyle's gonna, raise an eyebrow, and it's like, "Well, if you wanted to hold hands, yeah."
Shut up. Give me your hand.
Doesn't without saying another word. He very heartily slaps his hand into hers.
Yue puts the stone in her hand, puts you and Lyle's hand on top of the stone, and then she puts her hand on top of his hand. And then you watch as flame starts to lick across her hands and toward the stone. And you see a light shine from the stone as it begins to glow. Lyle, both you and Yue And what are you thinking of, first of all? Are you thinking of the spear? This is important.
Honestly, I'm kind of thinking of the fact that I'm holding Yue's hand right now.
Okay, then here's what happens. You think of Yue and holding her hand. What you get is a weird experience where you are suddenly, as you kind of, your eyes like close, almost like unconsciously, and now you're suddenly floating above you and Yue, looking down at yourself and Yue. And you slowly like float upward, seeing this. And eventually you go through mountain and rock until you're outside, and you see the cave and the little bit of the forest nearby. And you kind of go up for a little while, where you have like a good, decent air point of view, seeing the cave, the surrounding area to some degree, and the forest. You see some landmarks and whatnot. You see the little stream that's going in the cave. So you have a kind of an idea, general idea of this landmark and where it is.
Mm.
And then, after a few moments, you feel yourself being snapped back downward into your body. And then your eyes open. And then Yue has a similar expression to you, because she also saw the same thing,
Mm.
except it was her.
Right. Lyle says, "Whoa!" And he looks over at Yue and looks down at their hands. Like, was that the rock or was that you? Wait.
No, that was the stone, I think.
And Lyle's gonna, kind of take the stone up, hold it up close to his eye again, and look it over, and he says, well, that was interesting.
Here, give me the stone. I'm gonna go fit the spear.
Otto says, "Did you find the spear?"
Lyle's gonna look over at Otto and be like, spear? Oh, right, wait.
No, I actually was thinking about the stone a little too hard. Let me try again. Let me see the spear. The stone. Sorry. And she'll take the stone from your hand forcefully. Yoink.
Yoink.
And then she'll like do the same thing. She holds it just in her hand. It glows. Her eyes close. She kind of stands there for a second, and then she opens her eyes, and then she looks toward the outside of the cave. Like, yeah, I know exactly where it is. It's gonna be a little. You threw. Wait, how far can you throw? That's really far.
That was like all I saw was Yue. Well, I guess I saw me. I saw mountains. It's a weird rock.
You're a weird rock.
It definitely works. And she'll go and retrieve the spear.
Once Yue walks back with the spear, then Lyle's gonna clap his hands. He's like, "Hey, what do you know? You found the spear."
Well, I'm not out of character. I'm not sure what to do now because I feel like the interrogation is basically over. This guy doesn't want to budge much, and we're not getting much else out of him. At this point, we have his little shiny doodad that he came down here for.
Well, what have you asked him beyond what does the stone do?
Well, we asked him what he wanted to do with it, and he said he didn't. He said he was only going to give it over to Corey's dad,
Mm-hmm.
but he wouldn't explain to us what he planned to do with it. He told us about the group of goons that showed up and may or may not be influencing Tori's dad to make the enemies or make the Tengu more active and violent to leave the village.
Y'all.
Mm-hmm. So he's told us a good deal of information. So, that in mind, I don't really think using him as a hostage is going to do anything for us. But I'm not sure what else to do with him now.
Well, If we release him, won't he warn your father?
If we release him, he'll more than likely run back to the village. Although he's lost his whole unit, and not only that, he's given information away to an enemy. If he goes back,
Bro's good as dead.
they'll make an example of him. Yeah.
Aye, that's pretty disgraceful.
Unless he fed us false information and is going to run back and let him know he lied to us.
He simply shrugs.
Hey, Barry, are you hungry?
Arr!
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Berries.
Oh, he learned his name.
We could.
Otto says we could just bring him back with us.
Bring him back. You mean to the village?
Well, I was like, oh yeah, that's great. Oh, you know what? Actually, I was about to make a joke, but that's a great punishment for a guy who just tried to kill us. He could go farm with the goblins.
No, to your home, Tori, is what Otto says.
Oh, that's much less fun.
Keep him captive so we can't run away.
I'm watching. I think Aaron's typing. Hang on.
Yeah. I will read it out loud. Here's all the pressure, Aaron. Here's all the pressure.
Mm-mm-mm.
You
Can't be
can't
killed.
protect him, and maybe he'll be on our side if he sees we want to help your people. That's what Otto says.
Lyle's
Tori
gonna
kind of blinks and says,
look over it, Otto.
"That's not a bad idea, actually. He can't run away if we take him with us. He can't be killed by them if we're protecting him, and he might be on our side if we do." Okay.
Oh, man. Barry was hungry.
Lyle's just gonna nod and it's like, yeah, like, I don't know. I mean, he did try to kill us, making a traveling companion out of him. It's who's to say he's not gonna just try and kill us again as soon as we untie him?
We think that's the most likely scenario, but we'll leave it up to you.
Well, I mean, it's not the first time we've traveled with someone who tried to kill us. Though I cannot remember who that was.
Barry just, his head, if he could shrug, shrugs.
Tori takes a deep sigh and she walks up over to the Tengu captain. And she grabs him by the rope and pulls him up. She says, "Listen, you're coming with us, whether you like it or not. We're going to the village, and we're going to confront my father. And you have to come with us, because I don't know what you'll do if I leave you here or I let you go. And killing you doesn't sound like that's not what I want to do."
Well, I'm left with two options. Either I go with you now, or I attempt to break free and kill you in your sleep, which likely will end in my death. At least one of you will probably die, but I will die too, probably. Returning without some sort of success would lead to my death regardless. So, being a captive is one way for me to stay alive a little longer. I also could eventually turn on you on the trip.
You're very optimistic about this.
No, just being realistic.
Oh, with that, I think we should just head on out.
Sounds good.
Wow.
Have we
I think we're done
scooped
here.
out all the goods that we wanted from the Goblin Cave? I think we have everything, right?
I think.
It's,
I don't think we really scavenged at all. We
there's
just
not a lot to scavenge beyond some knickknacks and junk.
We did look around a bit last time.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot there.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess that if there was anything worth taking here, the Tengu have already taken it back to their village.
Except for the
They were here
Kula.
before us for an undetermined amount of time, so probably had time to grab any loose gold jewelry, such.
I mean, considering they were still here, though, then I doubt they took anything back to the village.
Well, if you want to go digging through it, I don't know. See what Majay says. He's fucking with them.
If you want.
No.
Actually, I think I already looted the Tengu corpses. I found
Yeah.
like the 20 silver.
Did you?
I believe so.
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily looking for loot. I was looking for like information why they were here.
Also,
before we found the stone.
as speaking of the stone, here's what the stone actually is. Show it everyone.
Oh shit.
Large fake stone.
I didn't make you roll for it because I was demonstrating what it can do, and Yue was helping you. So we're saying that Yue is the one who rolled and she succeeded for the sake of that. But in the future, you will have to roll. Which really,
No.
yeah.
Last time when Napano used the echo ability to see the person
Mhm.
burying it, you had mentioned that he was like mouthing something that she couldn't hear. There's no incarnation to use the stone. There's no magic word that Yue had to say to make it activate.
No, it did not appear so.
Okay.
And, well, you don't know what he was saying.
Okay.
It could have been anything. He could have just been mumbling to himself in a panic. Who knows?
Or maybe the object that he was looking for.
Yeah, possibly.
So, I want to use the stone now.
Okay. What do you want to do? What are you looking for?
I want to see the village.
Okay. Roll a 2d6, add your wisdom.
All right. Am I using the code like Nightmare did?
No, because you're rolling 2d6. So you just have to slash roll 2d6 plus whatever your wisdom mod is.
6 plus. Wisdom modifier. 0. So just roll 2d6.
2d6, what'd you get?
9.
A 9. So you succeed, but you draw the attention of some other thing, an angel, a demon, or the hold of another Frankenstein stone. Who's that stone to avail you as well? But you don't know what's. You're not going to see that part. So I just decide that later. However, you do get to see the village, which means I get to show you the map. Do you want me to show everyone the map, or do you want me to show you the map? Just you the map.
Post it on that. Be
Your
cool.
decision.
I'll just show everyone the map because I spent time making it.
Because whatever is easier for you.
So you asking to see the village in its entirety, you see the village in its entirety in its nestled corner in the mountain. And this is the village.
Tori's home.
Yes.
That's
Quaint.
pretty cool.
It's a quaint little village in the mountains.
This is a good village, Majay.
Thank you.
It is.
In terms of like what you physically see going on in the village, it doesn't. You don't see like a lot of strange things. You see the typical farmers farming. You see there's training fields over yonder where Tengu are training and soldiers are training. This is more sectioned off for the more noble families. And the rest of these villages are more the general populace. And you're where their father lives, up in this castle.
Where he takes a deep breath and kind of holds it. She looks at remembers how the village used to look, but she can't help but notice that the Tengu grounds seem a lot larger, and
Not more
definitely,
established.
and it seems like there's more. Just looking at the town, it seems like there's more stress and like bit more like the houses are in a little bit sloppier condition.
Mhm.
She remembers it being a lot nicer, basically.
The market in the center of town is pretty barren. There's only a couple stalls even open.
Yeah,
It's pretty barren.
there aren't that many people on the street either.
No, it's very quiet looking. Can't hear anything though.
Any signs of foreigners?
From up above where you are now, no.
Okay.
You can see
So-
just specks.
It's fair to say that it's closer to being abandoned than like the populace being mobilized for war.
It doesn't look abandoned necessarily, unmaintained a lot of spaces. There's still people about, but there's like they're more sectioned off. A lot more people are in this northern quadrant training amongst here. People are moving between the castle more. But again, there's specs because you're basically you have this point of view effectively. So people are very small. But it's not looking great.
You can definitely tell the village seems like it's seen better days.
Mhm,
And
exactly.
the growing military doesn't bode very well for her going back.
Mhm.
More Tengu to contend with.
Hmm.
Yes.
So
And then
I rolled a 9, which means something else sees me, right?
Yep, but you don't know. You don't get to see that part.
So,
But you are back in your body.
all right, for story purposes, was I the only one who saw that?
Correct.
Tori looks at the stone and like turns it over in her hand, and she just looks like she's in deep thought about what she's seen. She takes the stone and just places it in her bag, and looks at the rest of the party. Says, "Well, sooner we get this over with, the better."
So you still want to go back and confront your father?
Someone has to make him answer for what he's done. And by the way things sound, it sounds like there's more at play here. I may not be Tengu, but I still care about my people.
Lyle just nods slowly and says, well, sounds like we are getting ourselves into some more trouble.
Like always.
It's probably a good thing we've got ourselves a couple of new meat shields. He's gonna look over at Tengu Guy and ruffle his hair and look over at Napano and reach his hand out to do the same, but then stop shy of touching her head and their head and be like, ugh, and then like retract his hand before making contact.
The Tengu narrows his eyes at you.
Or Tori's gonna like tilt her head at him and be like, "What do we call you anyway? What's your name?"
I don't even remember my name.
Wow.
I vote Old Man Jenkins.
Old Man Jenkins. Let's see here. Someone give me a D100 now. Do it now.
Okay.
Go Vile.
And tell me the number.
54.
97.
Okay,
97?
97. We'll take 97.
97 is Yasuo.
His name is Yasuo.
Yasuo. That's his name. That's what I rolled.
Okay.
Cool. What's up, Yasuo?
So, what is our plan of action for our next move?
Oh, there's one other thing I wanted to ask him too. Now that we're out, before we get going.
Where you start the plan.
Yeah,
Okay. What's your question?
Tori's gonna ask him, "How did you recognize me so easily?"
I've known you since you were a little girl. You think I can't recognize you? You may not have known me, but I certainly knew you.
I'm gonna chalk that up to I don't know him that well because he always wears the Tengu mask, so he looks like all the
Correct.
other guys.
He never takes it off. You don't recognize this man at all. You think I can't see through a wig and some makeup? Tori?
Gazelle is just like, he looks at Tori with like wide eyes, like, oh wait.
I didn't hear that because your mic cut out.
Oh, it's a wig. Like he screams, like just surprised.
Have I not? I've taken this off around you, old man.
Oh, yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
I forgot.
Adam just kind of shakes his head.
You
Lyle,
asked if you could wear it.
That sounds like something I do.
Dewey nods. Yes, that was something you did ask to do.
Lyle's gonna like take the Tengu mask from the top of his head, and he's gonna kind of rest it like so he's wearing it on the side of his head, and put his hands on his hips. Like, all right, well, if we're gonna pay old Daddy Dearest a visit and get to the bottom of his how do you say genocidal rampage, what do you say we hit the old dusty trail? All this goblin stink is seeping into my clothes, and it's pretty gross.
Well, I'm sure that they weren't going to be here long anyway, so we should get going before, the Tengu believe something else happened and they send a search party. Yep, let's move.
All right. That brings us back to Wei. And Wei has asked, the fuck's the plan, guys?
Well, going directly into the Tengu territory is going to be dangerous, so we need to find a way in that's not as guarded. Luckily, I might know a way.
Would it not be smart to go make allies with one of the enemies? If he's waging war against others, why not bring a little army in with us?
I don't really want to approach my father with attempting to broker peace with an army behind me. I don't know if that's the best idea.
The Tengu scoffs at peace.
You probably don't want to approach him empty-handed either. He's going to scoff at your heartfelt plea, we're sure.
And if we all just march in there, what's stopping him from not letting us march out? I mean, we're all adept at combat, but can we actually take on an entire army?
Or he kind of thinks on it a bit.
To say nothing of whoever he's in cahoots with. I'm not sure I like the idea of us potentially running into both of our predators.
We could search out other Tengri tribes. Because having some backup would be good.
Lyle puts up his hand again.
Yes.
What do you say we stick to the original plan? Make our way to our old buddy Eldon. See if maybe these folks he's associated with know anything about the goings-on in the area. Maybe they would have some insight into who's really pulling the strings here and what they're after.
I'm gonna hold off on there and remind you, because it's been a while, so I don't fault you for not remembering. But the space that Alden suggested you meet him at is all the way up here.
Big yellow X on the map.
Yeah.
Let me move the map to the big yellow X.
And where are we on the map?
Right over here.
With the white X.
Yes.
We started our D&D campaign in the town just south of this mountain. We have moved like an eighth of the journey it would take us to get to the wizard's hideout.
However, that being said, there's a very good chance that he has not gotten there yet. So if you could find some of his compatriots, or perhaps an outpost of theirs, maybe you could find him that way. That's possible. That is an option.
Can Tori use the stone to see him?
That is a option.
Interesting.
That is an option. Okay. Well, in that case, I'll roll to use the stone so I can see where Eldon is.
Do you want to roll the stone, or do you want someone else to roll the stone?
I don't see why it matters. Does anyone else want to use the stone?
It doesn't, but maybe other people want to.
Where are the Tengri located?
I mean, does anybody have a plus to wisdom?
This
right,
mountain
where-
here.
The
We
Tengri
Yeah.
are
we
in.
don't know who you're looking for.
The Tengri are in. Basically, if there's a mountain in this nation, there's probably at least one Tengri tribe there. So this mountain range probably has a fuck ton of Tengri tribes. This one probably has just as many as this one does.
What about, Tori's dad?
Tori's her clan lives in the mountain that's beneath Changsha, that big where it's there.
Right.
It's in that mountain range.
Okay, so the one we're at the ascent, the bottom.
Yes, you were very close to it, actually.
Okay.
Well, you're close to the mountain. Doesn't mean you're close to the village. It's still a mountain.
Okay. Well,
We could. Well, first off, why don't we use a stone and try and see where Eldon is?
Oh, can I do it?
no. Well,
Okay.
shakes his head. No. Fuck.
Do you remember what you were looking for? She says
Aye.
before handing it over.
Is that one fellow who was hanging out with us before? That Didel, I think his name was.
Eldon.
Yeah, that's the one.
And you're going to use the stone to look for him, right?
Absolutely.
Tori just kind of stares at him blankly for a second and then hands the stone over.
Wow, cringes.
Gazelle takes the stone and kind of examines it. Like, okay,
He
all
looks
right.
for cheese, isn't he?
He just kind of holds it in front of his eye, and he's looking through it like a binoculars as his hands start to glow and make the roll.
He's looking for Trio, I know it. Good old, what's her name?
2d6, right? Plus charisma.
That's your wisdom.
Plus wisdom. Sorry,
That's
not
what I
wisdom.
meant.
Charisma
Yeah.
was the last one.
E. A 9. You also succeed, but also something notices you. That's probably a bit more Elvis would
Stare
notice.
in the void and the void
Yeah.
stares back.
He is looking for Eldon though,
Okay, you are correctly looking for Eldon.
or more accurately, he's looking for Eldon's robe because that's the only thing he remembers about Eldon.
That's fair. Well, Eldon was he was an agent on his own. He probably okay. Yeah, you will see Eldon. You see. Hold on, I get to show off the other map now. Hooray!
Yay!
Woo!
You see this map. This much larger map. You see the capital of this little nation called Xiangshan. You at first you leave your body you astral project for your body as you close your eyes, and you just fly across the plains before you come across and begin to hover over this very large city. Not the largest city you have personally seen, but a pretty sizable city. And then you start to zoom closer and closer until you're about in this section of town, in a tavern where Eldon is currently sitting having some breakfast.
Isn't that the
He
town
seems to be
we
looking
were
over some papers. What's up? What'd you say?
in? Isn't that the town we were in?
No, this is a different town.
It looks similar, but it's not.
Yes, this is Shangshun, which is the capital of Changsha.
Gazelle's just as he sees Eldon in the vision, he's like, "That's the guy."
Aaron asks, what is he eating?
He's eating a roll, a bun.
Same. All
It's full of meat. Looks tasty.
Tori looks at Gazelle. Did you see him? Where is he?
He's up and to the left.
What does that mean?
Well, I mean, it means what I said. He's up. You go up, and then you go left.
Tori like
Lyle's gonna look over at Tori. and
rubs her face in her palms, just like,
What did you expect?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more clear I can be about this. Right, Barry? Like, I think I'm being pretty clear.
He nods.
Was he on a road? Was he in a building? Was he in a city?
He was eating breakfast
He was
at a bar.
at a bar. What was the name of the bar?
We did not see that.
Why would I know the name of the bar?
That's probably we did that.
What did it look like?
A bar. It's up and to the left. It was a bar, and it's up and to the left.
What does that mean?
Have you never seen a map?
I've never seen him. You mean
Someone-
northwest?
Those are big words.
No,
They're really
they're
not.
So Tori just like grumbles and grabs her map out of her bag, pulls it open, and tries to find out where they are. She points to the Changsha Mountains and about the base and says, "This is where we are." You're saying he's up and to the left,
Yeah.
so he's in Shangchan.
Yeah. Maybe.
That's
I,
this one right here. She's like pointing at the words.
I didn't see a name, but yeah, maybe. Yeah, I know it's up and to the left, and that's certainly up and to the left.
Well, he left town the same day we did, so he can't be much further than us. I'm gonna guess that that's where he is. Maybe he has business there, and we can catch him before he manages to catch a ferry across the bay.
Sounds good.
Well,
Gazelle pockets the stone.
I was gonna say, well, I'm sure he'd be inclined to help us, seeing as his whole shtick is finding artifacts, and we have ourselves an artifact now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd much rather it be with Eldon than with us in case my father manages to get a hold of it. So, we'll pass it off to him when we find him. But if we're gonna do this, we need to hurry because he's got a lead on us. Or he's got a head start on us, and we need to get going. I think this is what, about a day's travel to Shangchan from here?
A day or two.
Change.
If you just- With your cart, actually, you could probably go back to the little village and get some oxen or horses to, well, drive your cart, because I don't know that you have those right now.
Some axles and wheels and
Yeah,
Didn't we-
500
did we
pounds
lose
of food.
We lost the horses from a while back, didn't we?
I believe so, yes. I believe you had spent the night prior before you came to this goblin cave to fix the cart. I believe that's what we discussed.
Yes.
And then you could just quickly make a backtrack to the village to get some horses or some oxen to drive your cart. That's not going to be a big deal. But yeah, you could do that. Or you could find some wild animal to pilot your cart if you want to be fun.
Emus.
You could find emus.
Yeah.
No, actually, no. I said you couldn't find emus here. So I
You
can't.
said wild animal, though. You're
Wild
piqued
animal.
My curiosity. What sort of wild animal could we capture?
Oh, beer. Why did I see beer? The fuck is wrong with my brain?
Beer.
Like
meant
just
bear.
roaming four-legged keg barrels?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, of course.
Interesting Gollum choice.
Well,
Are there any owlbears nearby?
God damn it.
Well,
Possibly.
given that we're close to the mountains and snowy mountains at that, we could probably find reindeer.
Good, yeah. Or some variety of elk.
Can we get Adam to sniff out some fucking, if there's any, look for tracks, if there's anything useful nearby?
Yeah, I like how, out of character, I like how BB mentioned that we should go back to town and get horses that we left there, and we're just like, no, find reindeer instead. I'm altering the plan. Probably I do not alter it further.
Well, I just didn't remember because I know we had horses at one point. I just forget what happened to them.
I legitimately forget what happened to them too.
Like even in my notes, like I don't think.
Sorry, man.
Aaron says, with our luck, we'll find moose.
Goddamn. You know what? I
For
want.
the sake of it,
I want to roll.
we can.
Anyway, yes, I can. I
We
can
want to
do
make
a-
this roll, and we just.
see what we come up with.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm all for chaotic.
I'm trying to think of what kind of role that would be. I think with Adam, the best I can do is to discern realities.
Well, let's
Adam
make this.
and I
Oh,
both have a tracking ability, don't we? Yeah, hunt and track, except I nerfed myself, so mine only works for undead, or works better on ghostly things. You're more of a proper ranger, aren't you?
No, he is a fighter. Now.
Alright then. Well, I can try to use hunt and track, with the caveat that it works much better on supernatural creatures than, like, normal-ass reindeer.
Dead.
Oh dear.
Zombie
Yeah, I
moose.
really wanted you to roll for a dead moose.
Skeleton reindeer moose.
I'll do it.
do it.
Goddamn.
Roll 2d6 and add whatever that stat that it uses, and I have made up a list of animals that you could find of varying use. What did you roll? A 9. Well, for some reason I decided 9 to 10 was going to be an owlbear.
Uh-oh.
So, you find a fairly sizable owlbear. You could also say, given your particular specialty, that maybe it's not alive. That doesn't mean it's not moving.
Oh, no.
Oh dear.
No bear.
We found a creature, but probably not one that will willingly pull a cart for us.
It is currently eating the corpse of a elk.
Damn, could you use
Ori
that elk?
looks at
That's what
Nopino and
Butcher's
just
saying.
kind of like looks at her like, what the fuck?
They were the
What?
clearest tracks we could find. You find us a reindeer then.
Okay.
Lyle's like, can we slink away before whatever that is decides to eat us? And God, walking sounds better at this
Well,
point.
you don't want to try to convince the undead owlbear to pull your cart?
Going back for horses sounds better to us.
I don't want to convince an undead owlbear to do anything except for die.
Or you're gonna have to convince it to die, because it's already done it once, and I don't think it wants to do it again.
It's gonna need a lot of persuading.
Convincing. Yes.
That'll be fine.
Let's not say we did.
Okay. Well, if you go, you guys can go back for horses. It might take away half a day to get back to town, this little town, to get your horses. But I'm not going to make you roll for that if you want to do that. Alternatively, you could try to roll again if someone else could try to roll, and then we could see what else we could in this chart.
I'll roll. What am I rolling?
2d6.
3d6?
2d6.
2d6.
Zell wants to be friends with the owlbear.
10.
Well, like I said, a 9 to 10 was no. Well, actually, let me just vary this up a little bit.
10 is a success. It should be something that.
I thought 10 was I thought 10, 11, and 12 was a success, and everything like 7 to 9 was a
Well, he's
mixed
rolling.
result.
He's rolling from a random chart, not like a skill check.
Oh. Well, give me something different, because we already found an owlbear. I can't lead us in a big circle and found the same owlbear.
Very well.
This one's
You-
alive.
You managed to find a couple reindeer, and they are not undead.
Well, how about that?
They were
Aw.
ran away from the undead owlbear, which is why you even discovered them.
Nice.
And
Cool.
it is not because he rolled high, because Napano rolled high and you rolled high. I'm going to say that it does not take you much effort, given that you have a skilled hunter, and you have weird Gazelle's quirkiness and Napano, and Way probably knows how to wrangle animals to some degree. I don't know that Tori does.
I'm a ranger, so yes, animals. That's cool, man.
Mhm. So I'm not going to make you have to make any checks for that. So yeah, you can get a couple reindeer to pull your cart. That sounds fun.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. So you get the reindeer,
Here we go.
and you begin to take your cart and venture forth toward the capital of Shangchong.
As we're riding along on the cart, Corey just says, I think we forgot somebody.
What?
Oh,
What?
the goblin. We forgot to tell him that we cleared out the Tengu.
Well, I was like, oh, you know what? That traitor Keck, he could just deal with it. I hate that little guy. Goblins.
I'm trying to use him as a meat shield.
Goblins are all the same. Bunch of disgusting little traitors.
Why? What is wrong with you?
He's racist.
Why?
I can't be racist against a monster.
Yeah, you can.
Yes, you can.
I'm racist against dragons.
Dragons are creatures. It's different, okay?
It's not.
It's
They're
very.
literally a race of creatures.
Yeah, but they're monsters.
So are you, my friend.
You know. Wow, it's just
It's fine. They'll
he-
probably figure it out in a day.
he's
maybe.
gonna lean back, resting his back in the cart, and just put his feet up and take the Tengu mask from the side of his head and put it over his face as he leans his head back and excuses himself from the conversation.
Is that not considered rude to your people, Tori?
Well,
You mean me?
I mean, I'm not a Tengu, so.
Or you're
Oh,
Take
Does
it
the
back.
oh, it's not about the mask. I see.
The Tengu, is the Tengu mask, him wearing it, rude to me? I don't really think so. Is it rude to Napano? I mean, she could answer that herself, I think.
So we still have Yasuo, right? He's tied up in the back of the cart.
Yep, he's just sitting.
Good. Fuck him.
He seems relatively calm, actually.
Cool.
I mean, he's just plotting his revenge. It's fine.
What are you talking about? Why would he do that?
I mean, he told us he would.
I mean, he's just saying things, really. He can't prove anything.
I mean, so's Gazelle.
This is true.
I assume we have him under strict surveillance.
I should hope so.
Anna's got him in a headlock at all times. She's just like, I'll break his neck, just give me the word.
He's got him in the hug of submission.
Hug of friendship.
Otto's just sitting in the back, just kind of leaning on his shoulder.
I don't think this particular trip will be anything terribly dangerous. It's a pretty well-traveled road. This is a farming town, so the road is a little, on the back Backwater? No, that's not the right word.
It's a very rural drive through the
Yes.
countryside.
Yes. It's not like unpaved. Well, it is unpaved, but it is not untracked. So it's not.
It's a side
terribly-
road.
It's a side road. There you go. That's the word. So there's not much that really happens on your drive to Shangchun. Is there any conversations or things you want to do along the way? This will take probably about 2 days.
Gazelle found some more of those berries while they were at the village, so he's just
no.
eating.
Napano is at some point probably gonna like poke away and kind of like nod toward Lyle and be like, "Why doesn't he like goblins? What's his issue?"
He has a lot of issues. I
Well-
couldn't tell you the exact reason.
Lyle's just gonna notice Napano poking away, and he's like, "Oh man, one of them got in the cart." And he's gonna like sit up, and it's like, "Wait, can you huck that goblin?"
No, Jalapeno's a friend.
What? You named it?
She named herself.
Get it out of here, Dan.
I don't think Jalapeno's their name.
I'll
It's totally. Goblins are all named after food. It's a fact. Look it up.
Ori would try and talk more with Yasuo, but she feels like the conversation is very tense at the moment, and she doesn't have anything to say in this situation to him, because he's sort of, her hostage.
Well, it's like, why is the goblin in the cart? Why do we keep letting random things that want us dead hang out with us? Is this what we do now?
Lyle, Yue says,
Yes,
sit down, shut up, or I'm going to set you on fire.
that is needlessly aggressive.
Sit
And-
down, shut up, or I'm going to set you on fire. And she holds out her hand, and fire fills her hand.
Ori
His
kind of
emphasis.
looks over at Yue, and she's like, "Are you okay, Yue?"
I'm tired of him being racist against this goblin.
Why is... I just don't understand. It's a monster.
You know, instead of
You don't-
threatening him
you
with
don't have to
fire,
read
you should
those.
threaten him with stairs.
Yue can stare at me all day.
Aldo's. Aaron says Aldo is sitting next to Yasuo and is staring at him.
At first, he doesn't stare back, but eventually he starts to stare back, and then they just stare at each other for a long time.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess we'll just let the issue simmer for now then, instead of forcing it.
Otto asks, "Why did you become a Tengu?" And then he responds, how does he respond? What would he say?
As an able-bodied young man living in the village, he was basically given. He was only given that choice. He had to be a Tengu, or else he had to basically
Be a bitch.
be a bitch. Yeah. It was either I don't know how to say this, but like as most like stronger, able-bodied young men, grow into like their younger years or grow into like young adult bodies, they basically get sent off to the Tengu barracks and they become Tengu who have to defend the village. Then like the ones that retire get to go back to their farms and like run the markets and shit. So he's a bit older. I'm gonna guess that because he's in the position that he's in, he's a bit more of a senior kind of like he's a captain, so he's been in the Tengu for a long time, and he likely has some sort of like familial ancestry that makes him he has to be a Tengu to defend the village because it's in his blood to be one. Like he's a slightly not noble born, but like of a long line of generations of Tengu, so he has to be one since that's just like his career. But he wouldn't have much else of a choice in it because of his family and his background.
He just says it was my duty. That's all he says.
Sweet. Hey, I'm gonna go jump off my fucking house.
No, that's good. That's just how he responds to Otto.
Otto says okay.
Did you not want to? Otto says. I was indifferent either way. I would have found something else to do if not that. And I have a knack for it. Well, I did.
Could have fooled
Obviously.
me.
Yes. I'm getting old. Congratulations.
Or he kind of pipes up. Well, it's if you don't want to become a Tengu, you could be killed for failing to graduate, or you could live life on the run like I do.
Lyle frowns and says, and we're questioning why Daddy Dearest is suddenly a tyrant. You're talking about this like it's pretty normal.
Being strictly territorial and murderous and all that, that's normal for them. Attacking tribes that have nothing to do with them, that's different.
Your home sounds like it's difficult to live there. For those who were too weak to live it, sure. But we were not.
That was Otto who said that? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Seems easier in other lands than it does in mine, and I can't argue with that.
Lyle just says absently, well, you have tyrants taking over land just about everywhere in the world. It's just the way it is.
Shouldn't have to be.
Lots of fucking assholes out there. And dragons. Fuck the dragons.
Jesus Christ, old man.
What?
When did you get so based?
Otto
I'm
asks,
carbon base.
Otto asks Yasuo, do you want to go back?
To the village? Of course. Of course, I'd be going to my death. So I might as well accomplish something before I do. If anything.
This is the part where he breaks out of his chains and starts murdering us.
No. Oh!
Otto making a move. She just throws the old arm around his shoulder, brings him in a little closer. So you want to go there with me instead?
How can I get you to trust us?
Interesting.
Ooh.
I don't know if I can phrase this in a form of something he says, but I'll go for the implication instead. He basically tells you that if you can convince him that the path you want to take things is the right one, he will trust you. But then I get to ask you a question in return.
Not murdering and conquering other races is the right thing to do. Trust me on this.
I swear to God.
What do I ask Otto? Whom do you serve, Otto? He doesn't say your name. Oh, his mom. Okay. Well, that was...
Well, this is my mom.
I really not a lot of doesn't have a lot to hide, so it's not. Right now it's not super weighty.
So
But his
what,
Edo,
what does Yasuo say to that?
he doesn't say. He just kind of has a look on his face, like surprise.
She made me auto ads.
I
Adam
see.
just kind of chuckles. Real straight shooter, that one.
I see. He doesn't really have anything else to say to that. I mean, it's.
I mean, that's what moms do. They make their children. It
Well,
makes them moms.
While
technically you're correct, I guess.
I was just gonna kind of give like a wistful laugh. Yeah, well, wouldn't that be nice to live in a world where everybody just gets to do what their mom tells them to do? Be happy, do their own thing. Nobody's subject to any, dark lords hurting their people, controlling their lives. It's a nice thought.
Adam's
we all?
kind of- Go ahead.
Just how big is this wagon? Are we all having this conversation, or is it just Otto?
It's not a big wagon.
Okay,
We're all just kind of there.
so we can all eavesdrop, and it's not
Absolutely.
considered intruding. Okay.
Otto says, it's not that hard. Lyle says, you're a good kid, Oddball.
Adam just kind of rests his hand on like the head of the Drake and just kind of gives it a quick pet.
You're a good friend, Lyle. Is what Otto says.
Lyle just kind of, he smirks and then puts the Tengu mask back over his face as he puts his hands behind his head and rests at the back of the wagon once again. Doesn't say anything. For a change.
Ori looks a bit wistfully at the mountains as they ride along in the cart. Looking at the peaks and the valleys and remembering her homeland and how close she feels right now to home. Yet so far. The image of what she saw in her mind while looking at the rock seems to cause her like a bit of anguish.
That is a good question. Which of you is driving this cart?
Barry.
No.
Not Barry.
Not that.
I don't know, probably Adam.
Gonna be Adam or Way. Fucking someone
Yeah,
someone
I was
who's
gonna
not
say
gonna
Adam
crash
or Way,
into a
maybe.
wall.
The reindeer are driving it.
They know the way. Carry the sleigh.
They don't, actually. He's wrong.
Surprised we made it this way. Or all this way without any trouble.
So how do
hear my
you?
name, but none of the conversations are about me.
Nepano's gonna ask Tori, how do you feel about going back? Are you miss
Well-
your home?
Well, I do miss my home, yes. Last time I saw my father, who is the chief of the village, he tried to have me killed for failing to become a Tengu by accomplishing my graduation. So that's been a while. I never really thought I'd be going back. But I don't have much of a choice if he's going around killing Tengri and trying to seize some sort of power to force more under his control. I don't understand what's going on with him. He's never been very kind, but this seems a bit more extreme.
Do you
Well,
have any love for your father? Would it grieve you to see him killed?
Tori just kind of like looks down and she says, "I don't know how to answer that."
so how long's it been anyway?
Got your ass on the spot now. Come up with a number, bitch.
It's been 2 years.
Suppose that's a long time to be away from home.
Only 2 years, huh? Got a lot to learn, kid. Gazelle's just like kind of
She kind of raises an eyebrow and says, "Well, we don't know anything about you."
What? Gazelle like offers her a berry. Want one?
Why don't you tell us about yourself, old man?
Not much to tell.
Really? You're just some man with no story and you're out here helping me fight against a bunch of bloodthirsty, crazy bird people, and you've got nothing to say.
He's a great sorcerer.
Now who's on the spot?
You're really just out here helping me for no reason, huh?
I mean, it's not no reason. I think you're good kids.
Well then, why don't you tell us something about yourself?
I mean,
You're only out here risking life and limb alongside the rest of us.
it's not much to tell.
When you're not screaming belligerently. You seem kind. It's strange, but kind. Where are you from?
Stupid.
Where are you from?
Also stupid. Also weird.
Why don't we
Lads.
start with that? Where are you from?
You know, I don't actually have any of my old sheet up, so I don't have any of that old information on there.
Just pull a Shori, say you forgot, and then remember, oh yeah, I'm from Gazelton.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, you just made it sound as though being away from home for 2 years is nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember any details, but
Yeah. Hey,
I mean,
I
given
do.
my circumstances, 2 years, it could easily be an entire lifetime, and you're telling Tori right now, yeah, that ain't shit. It's like, well, okay, old man, what's your fucking deal? You just got
Napano's just gonna
nothing
chalk
to
it up to him being senile and forgetting shit.
Gazelle's like that.
Tori just kind of shrugs and scratches her head and looks at Gazelle again. And she takes a really long, hard look at him and says, "Well, I don't know why you're helping me, but if you don't want to talk about it, I guess it's fine."
Yeah, we won't pry.
I didn't want to talk about what was going on with my family, even when you guys started to ask me about it. So, the only reason I think I actually did was because the situation we're in now happened right on us, so
Gazelle
if you really can't, then that's okay.
Gazelle takes a berry, pops it into his mouth, kind of winces through like the tartness and the poison, and just kind of like looks off into the distance. It's not a story you really want to hear, and that's all he says.
Well, saying something like that just makes me want to hear it more.
Yeah, I know, but he doesn't say anything. He just
He'll probably remember someday.
And Tori just gives him the side eye and then looks over at everybody else in the part one by one, like
I'm
glaring.
serious.
Not like she's interested, more like she's angry that he's being elusive for no goddamn reason.
Well, normally we don't like to pry. We trust you'll share with us when you feel that you want to. But Nippano's going to turn back to Tori, but we should talk about the plan to deal with your father. Are you planning to appeal to his emotions? Are we going to assassinate him? How do you expect to resolve this? They look around at the card and like start counting, and we're assuming your father has an army.
She looks back at Nakano and she listens to her. The Tengu village consists of roughly 250 families. 2 years or so, given with maybe his expansion, the army probably sits around a few hundred. I don't really want to go up against 300 or so Tengu, just to speak with my father.
What's up, Way? Were you trying to say something there?
No, I didn't try to say anything.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So she kind of licks her tongue and starts talking about her father. My father, I do not want to assassinate him, because doing that would not more than likely not bring an end to anything. Killing my father, of course, would be something that I would have to live for the rest of my life. And if he's dead, there's no way to make him atone for the crimes that he's committed against other Tengri. So I'm left with no other choice but to get him to appeal to reason and stop his ways before it costs any more lives of Tengri and lesser folk alike. No offense, sorry. It's just been a phrase that's been said a lot today. I mean nothing by it. Like, Tori's really trying hard to like slide that under the rug to Napano.
Overcompensate so she doesn't think that you're all like Lyle.
Yeah.
No, we'll respect your wishes. We just don't know what is going to resolve the situation. If killing him will not stop the violence, do you really think that you can appeal to him with words?
I think that I can get him to cease this aggressive expansion. If nothing else. And if I have to deal with him, I'll figure that out when it comes to it. Because if the only way to stop him from killing others is to take him out myself. She looks really, like, conflicted. I don't know if I can.
Lyle,
But I can't let him get away with it either.
Lyle,
This isn't your responsibility alone either.
sorry.
I know that there are more than a few clans of Tengri who live in these mountains. I know he's been attacking them and forcing them under his rule. So, the more likely that there's more Tengu to contend with than I realize, but
Perhaps we should go speak with the other clans first then? We think that just going in and to your village might be walking into our death.
Well, you're going to Shingshan to get an ally.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
We'll search for fellow Tengri clans that are opposing my father.
I'd
Yes,
be surprised
and
if there isn't a resistance.
there might be. Hey, that's an interesting idea. Within the village, I don't think so. Although if there are other tribes there, maybe. No, I don't. Ugh. I have to think about this. This is a lot.
Nipana just nods and lets the topic go then.
How far along are we on our trail now? Are we almost to Shangchun?
Well, I mean, that conversation would have been an entire day, but yes, we could fast forward if there's no other conversations anyone wants to have.
Does anyone else want to grill me?
Does anyone want to grill anyone else?
Wow, still wondering
I mean-
why there's a goblin in the cart.
Barry wants to grill all of us, so
It's true. He does.
Mhm.
I feel like, well,
I'm kind of curious about what Way's been up to.
well, it hasn't been very long, but Adam does kind of turn his head after, like, he kind of keeps one eye to the road while also turning his head just over his shoulder a little bit. So what about you two? I mean, we know Way, but he then kind of looks over at Napana. But it's not like you've got a whole lot of skin in this game. What brings you around?
Well, it's true we don't have skin in the game, as you say. To be honest, we're one of the reasons we're asking Tori about how she plans to deal with her father is us trying to decide whether this is a cause worth risking our lives for.
Suppose that's fair.
Gazelle just looks at Napano suspiciously. How do your organs stay in if you don't have skin?
Ask Barry.
Miles says, "Oh great, the old man and the goblin are conversing. This is just okay."
Corey looks over at Lyle. Would you quit?
Quit what?
Stop being racist.
Why?
Like if you think bad of her, what do you think of me? I'm different.
Are you a monster?
I mean, I was a trained killer from birth. I think that classifies me as some type of monster.
Being a trained killer from birth is pretty normal, isn't it?
No.
I don't know. Are you a trained killer from birth?
Well, I don't know. Now you're making it sound weird. Maybe I'm not.
Way, are you a trained killer from birth?
I'm a soldier. I wouldn't quite say I'm a trained killer.
Well, not from birth. Yue's not a trained killer.
She tried to
Right.
light me on fire earlier. Sounds like
She
she's
was-
got it in her.
I wouldn't have.
She's
I'm not judging about you. It was actually kind of hot, but I mean, no pun intended. Maybe a little intended. Are you still gonna light me on fire?
debating it now. I think I am.
I am weighing my options.
I am weighing my options.
Otto.
What do you have against goblins anyway?
Ew. Why is it talking to me?
I'm kind of curious. How about you answer the question?
Otto says, Mom taught me to help people since my birth. Like, yeah, oddball, but you're weird. Everybody hurts everybody. It's just how people get by in this world.
Okay, then why do you have a problem with goblins? No, Otto, you're not weird. Adel says, am I weird? No, Otto, you're not weird.
You are definitely weird. I hate to break it to you, kiddo.
Don't listen to him, he's weird.
I think enigma is the better word.
That's more classy, yes.
I didn't say weird's bad. Except for goblins, they're weird and bad.
So you gonna go into what's your deal? You lose a hand of poker to one or something?
Otto
No.
says, I like goblins.
Why? They're little and gross, and they keep cakes in caves, and they raid villages and hurt people.
Otto says, they're small and nice.
No. I mean, they are small. I'll give you that.
Apano seems alright to me.
Lyle kind of looks over in Apano's direction. Is assessing what Napano's doing.
Pano is sitting in a cart, just letting time pass.
Menacingly. Lyle squints his eyes in Apano's direction. And he says, I've never known a goblin to be capable of higher thought beyond satisfying its own needs at the expense of others.
Didn't you just describe yourself?
He's kind of a goblin.
Lyle sits there and he starts contemplating and he's like,
Well, no, until recently, I would have said the same from you. But I think you're growing into it.
I'm not a goblin.
Do you think that maybe you're projecting your own feelings onto goblins because your fragile psyche needs someone else to look down on so you won't be forced to dwell on your own inadequacies?
Lyle just stares at Napano for a moment and is like, those are a lot of big words coming out of your little jibber-jabbery mouth.
Too big for you to understand?
The shade.
Not...
So it's just leading back like, oh!
Wow. Are you actually a goblin?
What do we look like?
Lyle's gonna look up and down Napano again. And he's gonna think about it a moment and say, if I'm looking at you real close, you look like you're more than what you appear. And I respect that, but I don't know if I like it.
Well, then look somewhere else.
Lyle just kind of shrugs and, puts his shoulders back against the edge of the cart again, kind of lounging.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That sounds like an end of a scene.
Yeah.
All right. Time passes. Do.
Otto says, I like goblins. They're small and nice.
Yeah.
Looked like Otto was saying something else, but
Did you have more to add?
there was typing. Okay.
Nah. Okay. All right. So, ere long, your travels begin to take you towards Shang-Chan. You have to kind of go around this little outcropping of water to get to the entrance of town, but effectively, that's over here. So that's the way you are entering city. I'm going to change the music now, brief though it may be.
So we're up in this upper corner here.
Oh, that's no. That's joking.
I like it.
Well, we can't exactly go into town with Yasuo tied up here. It doesn't make much sense to. Well, we already made a pretty bad name for ourselves in the last town we were in. I don't really want to drive into this town with a literal kidnapping situation going on here. So, I have to make a decision either to hide him or set him free.
I don't know. You don't think the folks around here would be aware of the Tengu's doings currently?
He doesn't have his mask.
Lyle says, hey, hold on. He is
He doesn't
a
have
prisoner.
much.
He's a prisoner of ours. We are noble bounty hunters, and I am your leader. The esteemed Lyle takes a piece of paper out of his pocket and he's like, jeez, okay. Might have. Oh yeah, okay. Shang-Chan might have got. Never. He looks back up as he's mumbling to himself and he says, "Never
Are you all right,
mind.
Lyle?
I'm fine." Now, Barnaby Jones might have gotten into some trouble here before, but luckily I am not Barnaby Jones. I am the esteemed bounty hunter, Theo Kojak.
Theo Kojak.
It's real. Trust me. If anybody asks about Barnaby Jones, you never heard of him. And if you did, he's far away from here.
You know, if he doesn't have his Tengu mask on, it's not like anybody who's allied with the Tengu will notice him and know who he is anyway.
Yeah,
Just
but
keep the mask off him.
I feel like we should probably tie him up.
I mean, he also might want to change his clothing.
It's gonna be difficult to change his clothing with the rope still on him.
Just put a robe over him.
Take his pants. He's drunk.
Okay, there, Theo.
Well, Tori, he's your prisoner. I'll go with what you decide.
You could put like I said, you could put like a robe over him. That's probably sufficient.
Yeah, we'll just put a rope over him. That sounds fine.
Whose robe?
That'll hide the ropes too.
Not my
Yeah.
robe.
Let's do that.
I mean, I'm sure there's like a extra blanket or something in the cart.
I'm just gonna grab some like cloth that we have in one of our bags and wrap it around him and give him a hood. And try and cover his face a bit.
Okay.
While she's doing so, she's also gonna like just look him over real quick and make sure he hasn't like loosened his ropes at all or anything.
Sure, he won't scream the first sign of guards.
I mean, you could gag him. Otto asks, Yasuo, are you comfortable?
He shrugs. I've been in more secure knots. This is hardly the most uncomfortable I've been.
I wasn't the best at tying knots, I guess. I
I
don't
know. I'm aware. I watched you. You're very bad at it. It was hilarious, actually.
You know, if I remembered you, I don't think I would like you very much.
You don't remember me, and you already don't like me very much. I feel like that's about the same then.
You sure talk a lot of shit.
So do you.
Not really.
I was like, are you sure?
I'm trying to work with you, but it's very difficult.
No, you're trying to do other things. They like each other. Otto whispers or thinks.
Whispers to you, I think they like each other.
And Yue has to say, no, Otto, no, honey, sweetie. Because I gotta teach you to recognize these signs better.
I don't know. They seem like an old married couple, if you ask me.
So we're planning to leave Yasuo tied up, gag him, put a hood over his head, and just leave him in the cart, basically.
We're bringing him. He's our friend now.
But bringing him into town with us, making sure he doesn't run off.
That's why we disguised him. That was my impression, anyway.
Okay. Well, let's go find your friend, then.
Lyle looks around and says, so, our buddy Eldon's supposed to be here?
Yeah. He's at a restaurant, bar, somewhere in town.
Correction. He was at a restaurant or bar 2 days ago having breakfast. He might have already moved on by now.
Hey, that's accurate.
We'll just have to hunt him down then.
Maybe you could ask around the inn and see if he's still there.
I would reckon that when he first came to town here, he wouldn't have traveled far in before he found his first inn. We can probably ask around at the first few taverns and inns that we find and see if they've seen a wizard that matches his description.
Otto says, can we use the stone again?
Tori kind of thinks about it for a moment and says, why not?
Lyle's like, you know what? Should have thought about that.
Wait, did you try and say something? Sorry?
I was, but it can wait.
Okay, just let me know.
Well, we are on a tight time schedule here. If we use the stone to find Eldon, it'll make things a lot easier and smoother, potentially. So, who wants to use the stone?
Old Lyle.
Hell, I think the old man still has it.
They gave it back to me, I thought.
No, he put it in his pocket.
He pocketed it.
Oh. After letting him use it last time, she's not willing to let him use it again.
I mean, if you really want, I could use it.
Tori turns to Gazelle. No, that's fine. I'll take it. So, let me see it. Come on, it's...
All right. Reaches into his pocket. Hands it to her.
Thank you. So
sorry about the berry juice all over it.
She looks at it, and this thing is like got berry stains on it that have been on there for what looks like way longer than a day. This juice is not the same color of the berries you were eating.
Don't worry about it.
Ori angrily just wipes the thing off on a sheet of cloth before she takes it and pours magic into it and tries to look for Eldon.
Give me a roll.
6.
I can't wait for this to bite us in the ass.
Your repeated use of the stone apparently has had a little bit of a backfire. You feel yourself leave your body for a second, before you feel something reject you and push you back in, as though another presence on the other end has pushed you back.
Oh dear.
What the hell?
Did you break it?
No, I used it like I did last time, but
Lyle's
I got
like,
like knocked back.
Lyle looks
The
over.
hell?
Sounds like you broke it.
Lyle's gonna look over at Gazelle's like, what did you do to our fancy rock? We need that.
I didn't do anything.
What do you mean you didn't do anything? It was working fine. Everybody was, you know, um flying out of their bodies and looking at cool stuff. Then we leave it with you for a couple days, and it's all filthy and doesn't work.
I don't even know why I'm using some magic rock I found in the fucking ground to look for wizards. What is my life even? This is ridiculous. We're in a big city. We can find a wizard. I'm sure someone has seen him. We're just gonna have to go into town and start asking around.
I think it might be best if we split up. There's multiple bars here, so
Well, that's a good idea.
clear up into twos and
Maybe we could do that. Maybe as we go through the gate, we could ask the guard if they've seen a wizard leave, whether they're still here or not.
It's a good idea.
I don't know what we don't know what he looks like. So one of
Gazelle
you should do
scratches
that.
his head and is like, "Why don't we just go to the bar where I saw him?"
Where's the bar? What's the name of it? We'll go there right away.
I mean, I don't know the name, but I know where it is.
Where is it?
So over
Lead the
there.
way.
Up and to the left.
Go there first, then.
Gazelle shrugs and starts leading the way.
Well, I was like, I'm not following him.
All right, do you want to split up then?
No.
So whoever's with Yasuo has to stay with the cart too.
Are we leaving him
How
in the cart?
about-
I'm getting confused about the plan now. I thought we disguised him
What?
because we're dragging him along.
No, you are probably about to split up. So some of you are going to stay with the cart and him, and some of you are going somewhere else.
Okay.
If we had him moving around outside of the cart, it would probably be easier for him to make a break for it. We keep him confined to the cart, he ain't going anywhere.
Okay, what's the teams? What's the split?
Tori's gonna elect to stay with the cart and with Yasuo.
Or he's staying with cart. Who else is staying with the cart?
Lyle climbs out of the cart and he says, you guys can follow the old man on a wild goose chase or babysit grandpa here all you like. If Eldon's in the city, I'll find him. But we're going to do it Lyle's way. Which means...
Can't you just follow Gazelle to the bar and find him?
Do you think Gazelle's going to take me to Eldon?
I'll take you to the bar where
Do you think
Eldon
he's going
was.
to take me to the bar?
I'm trying to be very optimistic here.
You are being excessively optimistic.
I have to be. Otto says, I'll stay with Tori.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Otto.
I suppose someone should make sure Gazelle doesn't get himself lost. So Adam just kind of hops down from the cart and
Okay, hold on.
Yes,
Then
sir.
you're staying with the cart is the implication.
He's going with Gazelle.
Adam is going with Gazelle.
Okay.
Yeah, he hopped off the cart and he's gonna follow.
Lyle's gonna do his own thing, not going with Gazelle or Cart.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have 3 teams at the moment.
Okay. That's what I was trying to clarify.
I think
Gotcha.
I'll follow Gazelle, and then if this turns out to be a bust, we can split up again.
I'll go as well. Follow. I was planning on going with Way.
Cool.
So, Wei and Alpino,
Gazelle.
Gazelle and
Adam.
Gazelle and Adam. And then I'm gonna assume Yue, Otto, and Tori with the cart, and Yasuo in tow, and Lyle on his own. Got it.
Something like that.
Is that split?
Yes.
That works.
Mhm.
Sounds good.
That is the split. That is separated by commas. It is nearing time to end this, so let us end this with that then. As you will begin to venture into town, making your way through the gates of Shengshan, though there are no true walls beyond just some superficial ones. Lots of towers, though. There are guards. You're not approached at all, unless you approach them. So it's a fairly sizable town for oh god, my brain. A very bustling populace that are buzzing about, doing their business. So
What was Lyle's legendary bounty hunter name again?
it was
Theo Kojak.
Theo Kojak. That's correct. I wrote it in my notes.
Okay, that's gonna be great when Ori has to assume the identity of Theo Kojak to explain why she has a man tied up in the back of her cart.
Yes.
All right. You begin to venture into town. Three of you following Gazelle as he ventures toward the castle and the bar nearby. And Lyle sits off on his own. And Yue, Otto, and Yasuo and Tori begin to take the cart into town, presumably going to follow their own way.
Wait.
Do you know Dewey?
Is there anything-
We never established a rendezvous point.
You did not, no.
It's too late now. He already left.
Probably
Gazelle just walked off.
park
Sounds
the
like
cart.
this sounds like a fun way to try and meet up with everybody is to not have a plan to meet up with anybody and work on it on the fly.
Mm-hmm. Was anyone else? Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say park the cart in the market or something, or just outside. That seems like a logical meeting place. The cart's probably noticeable.
Perhaps, but if this was a logical party, we would have less problems.
We could just keep the cart outside of town because might as well avoid suspicion altogether.
You have already entered the town.
Great.
You should have thought of that before.
Let's turn the cart around.
No.
Gazelle didn't think about it. He just figured, they could just use the stone.
It's fine.
That's true. Tori's got the stone.
Except Tori has a stone, which he didn't realize because he thought it was in his pocket still.
You gave
But
it
she's
to her. You said,
Yeah.
"Don't mind the stickiness."
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
He's just stupid.
Maybe
Gazelle-
Tori will just start abusing the rock and looking for the people through it.
Okay. Is there anything else anyone wants to say before we begin the wrap-up procedure?
Butts.
I would like to say we could go for like 6 more hours.
No.
2,
Aaron needs to go to bed. No.
3, 1.
No.
We also still have like the end.
Yes, that's
Ending.
why we're ending with 30 minutes before 9:30. That's why we're ending now.
9.
We have the questions.
Mm-hmm. Where the fuck is it? It's on this sheet. I want to follow this sheet. There it is. Okay. So, let's run down the questions. Anybody's bonds resolve?
Let me look at mine.
No, but I believe Gazelle probably would have gained a few.
Okay, well then think of those and write them down as you want.
She might have grown. Tori might have developed a bond with some of the other party members that wasn't there before.
Okay, then write those out.
I shall.
Okay.
I wrote
Hey.
down that Tori has a brave soul going home to face her people, and we have a lot of respect for her for that.
Has that written down before? Or is that
No,
new?
it's new.
Okay. Let's leave that as new for now. And then we'll resolve it next time.
Oh, hey, we didn't get any experience today. What the fuck?
We're going through that. Calm your tits.
I want more.
To be fair,
Oh,
Sword, you did get one.
you did get one because you failed.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Hell yeah.
The only one of my bonds, I think that we touched it all. Was Lyle's with Napano, which he's just basically believes. He says Napano's a goblin, nothing more than just a vile beast. And I'd say we've made progress on that one, but I don't know if I'm convinced it's resolved.
It doesn't
I
have
wrote
to.
that Lyle can stick their disapproving looks up their arse, I don't care. So I feel like we resolved it a little bit. We moved it forward toward.
Yes, I would say you can mark that as resolved if you would like, and then write something new as an evolution of that. His preconceptions have been challenged,
We could do
thus
that.
he must change it. Yes, so you can mark that as a completed bond and give yourself experience.
I could do that and say that, change it to be more like what he said, that he feels like there's something more to Napano than on the surface.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? Are we good? Aaron looks like she's typing something. Gabon Brazil, that is, I think Gazelle is very good at making friends, but I think it would have changed you. Yes.
Does that count
'Cause-
as resolving, or does that count as a new one?
I mean, resolving it doesn't mean it's like done forever. It just means that particular statement has been resolved. So, like, does Otto was Otto is Otto been confirmed that Gazelle just is very good at making friends? And I would say, like, it seems so.
I don't know.
Probably.
I wonder.
I would say so. If you two both agree on that, then you could mark that as finished and then change it to that second one. And yes, that does count. Okay. Anybody else? Or are we good? Can we move on? Will we move on?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I'm good.
Off. Okay.
I just have new bonds, but I haven't really
You're
developed
good.
on the ones that I had.
You're good. Okay. Second question. Alignment. Did you act toward your statement for your alignment? Or rather,
Yeah.
I guess a good or better way to put it in this little doc is like your drive is a better way to put it. Which kind of is your alignment to a degree. There's examples if you want to change that as well.
Yep. Tori is. I think her alignment was her goal was met because she ultimately decided that killing the prisoner or killing the hostage was a bad idea, and she's now more or less betting on him, seeing things her way, so she doesn't have to necessarily kill him.
Okay.
But if he doesn't help her, she doesn't see the reason to kill him or anything. It's
Okay.
just it's a difficult situation that hasn't resolved yet.
Okay, so yes. So give yourself an XP for that.
I have 10 XP now.
We'll get to that at the end. Anyone else? Everyone act with their alignment?
And Lyle's is avoid detection or infiltrate a location, which I wouldn't say we did any of that this session, but maybe setting up for it next time. We'll see.
Okay. If you think you did, then give yourself an experience.
Gazelle did not.
Okay. I'll let you all be the judge of that on your own.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if.
What's
Don't think
yours?
Adam did anything because we didn't really fight.
What's yours, Aaron? You could just click your alignment.
I would say so, yes. You try to befriend the Tengu man a little bit, get him to know him better.
Yeah.
Okay. Has everyone decided on that?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. Last 3 questions. is... I gotta get back to the thing. Did you discover something new or important about the world or characters?
Yes.
I think we did learn a lot more about the Tengu and the Tengri this time around.
So that sounds like a yes. So mark 1 XP for that, everybody. Did we newly visit or significantly alter a memorable location?
We are in a new town, if it counts walking in and saying hi.
I would say then yes.
Okay.
1 XP.
Cool.
Did you overcome a notable enemy, obstacle, or challenge?
We have made the old grizzled Tengu soldier agree at least to tell us things that he would have otherwise not been willing to. He spilled the beans on what's going on with the Tengu at the village, which he definitely only admitted after we made him see things our way, more or less.
A little bit.
It's like, hey, don't you think this is weird? Isn't this kind of fucked up? And he was like, yeah, it's kind
Possibly. I would. Okay. Now go ahead and say okay for that.
13.
You want us to mark an EXP for that? Okay. Well, for now, that's fine, I guess.
So you're all 3. Okay.
So now
Well.
we got to go through some level up procedure then, right?
Correct.
So why don't
Yeah.
we wrap up the recording for now that we've done EXP, and then we can all discuss level up procedure afterwards. So good show, Mage, good show everyone. And in the meantime, anybody watching this video, thanks for watching. Bye YouTube.
Bye YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
What's.
What's.
Yes.
Wieners.